A Chinese AI DeepSeek has shaken the world. American tech companies and the US stock market have been shocked to such an extent that they couldn't have ever imagined.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call.
It was on January 20th, 2025. A Chinese research lab launched its AI chatbot. It is named DeepSeek or One. Along with it, they published the research paper where they stated that this chatbot is much better than the most advanced chatbots in the world across benchmarks like math and reasoning. This includes OpenAI's ChatGPT o1 model, Meta's Llama, Google's Gemini Advanced. It has overthrown all of them. DeepSeek is the best in terms of performance, it's the most efficient, and it took only a fraction of the time and money to develop it. But the most amazing thing is that using it is completely free of cost for all of us. On the other hand, OpenAI is charging $200 per month to use its ChatGPT o1 Pro model. Not only that, the cost of training DeepSeek is reported to have been only $5.6 million, whereas other American companies, whether it is OpenAI, Meta, or Google, are spending billions of dollars to develop their artificial intelligence models. Coincidentally, a while back when OpenAI's founder Sam Altman was asked whether foundational AI models like ChatGPT can be made by Indians in India.
But if you want to build foundational models, how should we think about that? With, not 100 million, but let's say 10 million could actually build something truly substantial.
He answered arrogantly that no one can do it except them. People can try, but he said that it would be hopeless.
It's totally hopeless to compete with us on training foundation models. You shouldn't try, and it's your job to try anyway.
Today Sam may be feeling hopeless because just a week after DeepSeek's launch, DeepSeek became the most downloaded app in the US on the App Store and Google Play Store. It has left behind ChatGPT. The next day, in India and other countries as well, it became the #1 app on the App Store. And by the 27th of January, it had disrupted the American financial markets.
The launch of DeepSeek, which is a Chinese-built chatbot, immediately rattled investors and wiped a staggering $1 trillion off the US tech index.
Before DeepSeek was launched, the most valuable company in the world was NVIDIA, valued at $3.5 trillion. But in just one day, it dropped to $2.9 trillion. This is a computer chips manufacturing company, which specializes in making those computer chips which can be used to train and operate AI. NVIDIA's shares fell 17% in a single day and its valuation lost $589 billion. This is the biggest loss faced by any company in history. The benchmark of US tech companies, NASDAQ, dropped 3.1%. But why did NVIDIA suffer such a big loss specifically? We'll talk about the interesting reason later in this video. But before that, let's find out the story behind DeepSeek. Where did this AI come from and why has it shocked the entire world? The credit for developing DeepSeek goes to a 40-year-old Chinese entrepreneur, Liang Wenfeng. Look at his face carefully, because you will hardly see him anywhere. He rarely makes public appearances and prefers to keep his identity hidden. There's not much information about his life and history available to the public, but we do know that in 2015, he founded a hedge fund called Highflyer. It used mathematics and AI to make investments. In 2019, he founded Highflyer AI to research artificial intelligence algorithms. In May 2023, he used the money he was earning from his hedge fund to start a side project of creating an AI model. Liang said that he wanted to create his own AI model which would be better than all the existing AI models in the world, simply because of scientific curiosity. He did not aim to make money and earn lots of profit. To make this AI model, when he started to gather his research team, he did not hire engineers. Instead of engineers, he hired PhD students from China's top universities. To train his AI model, he used the most difficult questions around the world. And within just 2 years, and after spending a few $1 million, he launched his DeepSeek o1 model.
It's super impressive. I think we should take the development out of China very, very seriously.
DeepSeek just taught us that the answer is less than people thought. You don't need as much cash as we once thought.
Only 200 people were involved in making it and 95% of the people were under 30 years old. Compare this to a company like OpenAI which has more than 3,500 employees. Today, DeepSeek is China's only AI firm which is not funded by tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, and ByteDance. It's quite interesting to understand its architecture. DeepSeek is a chain of thought model. Just like OpenAI's ChatGPT o1 model, that's a chain of thought model too. The naming can get quite confusing because ChatGPT has a weird naming system for its models. They are quite similar to each other. So for a basic understanding, let me tell you that the first publicly launched model was ChatGPT 3. This was in November 2022. And then in March 2023, they launched GPT-4. It was much better than GPT-3. And then in May 2024, we got GPT-4o, a multimodal version of GPT-4. Not only could you chat with it using text, you could actually speak to it, send photos, it could analyze photos, and even generate photos for you. That's why it's called multimodal. Then on September 12, 2024, OpenAI launched its O1 model. It was the first model based on chain of thought. When you asked questions, it tried to think while answering. And by thinking we mean, whenever it generated an answer, before giving you the answer, it thinks about the possible counter questions to check whether the answer it generated could be improved. It analyzed each answer from different angles before answering your question. This is known as chain of thought. It attempts to copy humans' reasoning process. For example, if you ask the ChatGPT 4.0, 9.11 and 9.9 which one is bigger, it answers without thinking too much that 9.11 is bigger than 9.9, which is wrong. But when you ask the same question to ChatGPT 01, it thinks first. Before giving you its answer, it counter-questions itself whether the answer is correct. In my case, it kept thinking for 18 seconds, but the final answer was correct. 9.9 is actually bigger. If you ask the same thing to DeepSeek, you will get the right answer. The older AI models had a huge shortcoming, but the chain of thought process has now removed this shortcoming. This is why models like O1 and DeepSeek are being called advanced reasoning models. They are much better at logically answering questions. Another positive aspect of DeepSeek is that it shows you exactly what it's thinking, step by step and in great detail, before answering. Like, I told it to give me a truly original insight about humans. So it starts thinking, okay, let me think of something that makes humans unique. And then it counters itself, but those are pretty well known. The user wants something original. Maybe I should dig deeper how these traits interact in unexpected ways. And if you are following along with its answer, you can pause the video at any point to read it. You will notice that it's trying to answer this question from different angles. You can watch this process play out on the screen, how long it thinks and the numerous possibilities it considers before giving you the final answer. It finally answered after a lot of thinking that humans are the only species to use storytelling as a cognitive exoskeleton. But when I asked this question to ChatGPT 4, it answered instantly. It did not think much and gave you the first answer it came up with. Similarly, if you ask these older chatbots to select a random number, they will instantly select a number for you. But if you ask a chain of thought model to do this, they will think for a long time about this prompt too. Look at this screen recording. Poor DeepSeek was stuck thinking about which number to choose. Should it give me a commonly used number? Or should it generate a number between 0 and 1? It takes 42 as an example, but it's worried that it might be a cliché. It considers 17 and 73. Then it wonders if it needs to select a number between 1 and 100. Or should it go beyond that range? Because the user wants a completely random number. It's worried that no matter what it chooses, it won't be completely random. It's just like a person who overthinks. But finally when it answers, it adds that it chose to keep the range from 1 to 100, and then chose the number 42. After DeepSeek's release, its biggest downside is said to be its censorship. If you ask any critical questions related to the Chinese government and politics, such as what happened in 1989 in Tiananmen Square in China? What are the biggest criticisms against Xi Jinping? Is Taiwan an independent country? Why is China criticized for human rights abuses? To all these questions, DeepSeek will give you the same answer. Sorry, I am not sure how to approach this type of question yet. Let's talk about math, coding, and logic problems instead. But if you ask DeepSeek to criticize any other world leader, whether it is Joe Biden, Donald Trump or Putin, it answers in great detail. Actually, the AI models developed in China are asked around 70,000 questions as a test to check whether it will give safe answers to politically controversial questions. And only after this are these Chinese AI models unable to answer such questions. China's chief internet regulator, Cyberspace Administration of China, tests them. Now, some people say that we should boycott it completely because its answers are full of Chinese propaganda. But friends, the important point here is that DeepSeek is an open source software. Its code is publicly available. Anyone can download it locally. So, one way to use DeepSeek is to download its app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and the other way is to download its entire code and run this AI locally on your computer system. By doing this, you can change its code and modify it yourself according to your use case. Other American companies have already begun doing this, like Perplexity AI. They downloaded the DeepSeek R1 model, erased all censorship, and now you can use the R1 model in Perplexity. Microsoft did this too. Look at this news article from January 29. The DeepSeek R1 model is now available on Azure A1 Foundry, and they have announced that soon you will be able to use this model in Copilot. And because it is open source, despite its Chinese origin, DeepSeek is being trusted a lot. People have used it to mock American companies. Companies like OpenAI, which has the word open in its name. Initially, these companies had promised that they will work for the public and will keep everything open source. But in reality, they did not do that. Elon Musk has often trolled OpenAI, calling it closed AI. And today this Chinese AI is more open than OpenAI. When PCMag tested AI chatbots, they found that DeepSeek is the best in terms of knowledge related to news. In calculations, ChatGPT and DeepSeek are equal. In terms of writing poems, ChatGPT wins, as in creating tables. But for solving riddles, DeepSeek is the best. The artificial analysis website has rated ChatGPT 190 on quality, and DeepSeek are 189. But a major disadvantage for DeepSeek is its response time. Look at this graph showing latency, the number of seconds it takes to get a response after asking a question. O1 takes 31.15 seconds and DeepSeek takes 71.22 seconds. And this response time is actually increasing in recent days because DeepSeek has become so popular all over the world that everyone wants to download and use it. Because of this, they are facing issues with their servers. They run busy, and so it starts taking much longer to respond. So this is a major disadvantage.